Good day, good afternoon, and how you going? It's Roger Roadside here, just with the weekend's roundup of EPL, English Premier League football. Look, it's been a great weekend. We had first round of games on Saturday, and so we'll go through the results and maybe have a bit of a chin wag about anything that comes up. But a lot of games on Saturday. We had Newcastle versus Chelsea, always tipped, I should say, to be a great game, Newcastle versus Chelsea, and it delivered. So Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2. If we have a look at the scorecard, we see that I believe it was Newcastle scored first around the 20th. They scored first around the 4th minute. They went 2 goals up 20 minutes in. Waldermaid scored a brace within 20 minutes. So well done to him. But then Chelsea came back in the second half. Reece James scored a goal. João Pedro scored a goal at the 66th minute. And it was the end result ended up being 2-2. So a good game for both sides. But unfortunately, no one walking away with the eggs. And then we moved on to Bournemouth versus Burnley. Bournemouth won. Burnley won. Bit of a stalemate there. Brighton versus Sunderland. Brighton 0. Sunderland 0. So another draw there. I always liked on a Saturday to have just a little accumulator of a couple of draws and Jiminy Crickets. If you had to put those, those first three games there, I would have. Yeah, I think I probably would have had them pegged as draws. So, if I was a gambling man, I probably would have lost a lot of money by now anyway. But I try not to gamble just because I don't want to lose a lot of money. But moving on, we've got City. Come on, City. Manchester City 3, West Ham 0. So another good result here by City. They've started to turn the corner. City do this from time to time. They look a bit shaky. I think I did a video about them a few weeks ago about leaky City. It's good to see that they've now sort of turned the corner, started, pulling up their straps. We had Haaland scoring in the 5th minute. We had Reinders scoring at 38th minute. And we had Haaland scoring his second at the 69th minute. Way. That's just the car. 3-0 against West Ham. Look, I probably would have backed us to win that game. But again, it's nice to have a clean sheet. Deuterama's looking great. And the whole back line is, or the whole team's looking good at the moment. Happy with City at the moment. Then we had Brentford versus Wolves. Wolves 0, Brentford 2. So again, Wolves you might as well put them in the Championship division now. Just relegate them. Just give them the rest of the year off. Just say, listen, lads, look, just go on holiday. That's what I'd do. And then you had a couple of cracking games to finish off the round. You had Tottenham versus Liverpool, Everton versus Arsenal, and Leeds versus Crystal Palace. Tottenham, Liverpool, look, you would have had Liverpool backed all day, every day. But that being said, their form has been a bit up and down, but they look like they have started to turn a corner a little bit. And so you've got Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. And there's a few things happening with Tottenham that I think are massively going against them at the moment. And I think what really didn't do Tottenham any favours, and it's going to sound, anyone listen to this, I imagine you're going to go, "Oh, duh, Fred." But the fact that Tottenham had 2 red cards, they had Simmons red carded 33rd minute. Went to half time, was 0-0. Even though Tottenham were a man down, but then Isaac scored at the 56th minute. I believe he then went down with an injury about 4 minutes later, which does look a bit, gruesome. So, good luck to him. But, that's unfortunate for Liverpool. Then you had Tottenham, one player down, score a goal at the 83rd minute. Well, I thought they equalised. No, they didn't equalise. No, because Liverpool scored a bloody goal at 66 minutes. Open your eyes, David. So Liverpool went 2-0 up, and then obviously Liverpool put the brakes on a little bit. Tottenham scored a goal at the 83rd to give themselves a bit of a chance. But then, Romero got himself red carded at the 90th minute with 3 minutes added on. And look, it was just a bit of a shit show for Tottenham. Tottenham are just travelling extremely badly at the moment, and they've just got to they've got to reset. They've got to. If it was me, look, if I was in charge of Tottenham and if I was the purse string wrangler, look, the whole squad just needs an overhaul. If I'm brutally honest with you, the whole squad needs a good look at. I think they've got some great players in there, but I think mentally they're just gone. They're gone for this season. So I think they'll improve as to where they were last season, but it's only going to be a minor improvement. And I think if you want to start making legs back towards top six, then you've got to overhaul that squad. Then we had the Everton-Arsenal game. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Again, jammy by Arsenal. Jammy Arsenal. I mean, to be fair to them, they scored their goal on the 27th minute. So they did go in front quite, relatively early. But Everton just couldn't break through, and it finished 1-0 to Arsenal. Well done to Arsenal for getting the result. 3 points, they walk away with that. Regardless of how good you play, if you walk away with 3 points, it's happy days, isn't it? And then we had Leeds versus Crystal Palace. Look, a bit of a tussle of the mid-table sort of clubs, but to be honest, with Crystal Palace form and the way that they've been sort of doing up until now, I kind of thought that this would be a really good game. Leeds, to be fair, obliterated them. Leeds 4, Crystal Palace 1. There was just no. To be honest, Leeds were 4-0 up right up until the 90th minute mark, and Crystal Palace got a late consolidation goal at the 90+2. But Calvin Lewin on the board, a couple of goals for him. Apadu, the ex-Chelsea. By that stage it was 3. And then Crystal Palace scored one at 90+2, and then Leeds just scored their 4th at 90+11. So look, a cracking game there for Leeds. Really well done to them. But that was Saturday's results. We then have a look at Sunday. There was only one game here, and again, I wouldn't have done the surely Man United going into this game, because it's obviously a difficult game for Manchester United going up against Aston Villa. I think it's really hard to say that, because regardless of what you think about Manchester United, if you're saying that they've got a game against Aston Villa, 99 out of 100 times you're thinking Manchester are going to take the points. Manchester United are going to take the points. But look, Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 1. So a very good result there for Aston Villa. 2 goals to Rodgers, scored at the 45th minute and the 57th minute. Manchester United did equalise. So after the 45th minute goal, the first goal from Rodgers, Cunha equalised late into the first half at the 45+3 minute mark. Went into at halftime 0-all. 1-all, I should say. So went in at halftime with a draw, back to equal, and just Man United got pipped at the posts early on. 57th minute, Rodgers scored his second, and held on for the rest of the game. Look, Manchester United, very difficult sort of. I think they had a difficult game in the sense that there's potentially a big injury for Bruno Fernandes, and I think that was playing on their mind for the rest of the game. It's a difficult one. I think with Bruno Fernandes out now for some time, I think holes are going to be seen in their squad and in their list for the next few weeks at least. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And then we had the final game last night, which was a bit of a nothing game. Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. If I was a betting man, I probably would have put money on Not Forest to maybe get a little victory, and I would have been wrong because it was Fulham 1, Not Forest 0. So a bit of a nothing game there, but well done for Fulham for coming away for the 3 points. That's all that matters really. And then if we take a look at the table at the end of this round, all teams are on 17 games played. So all is square and even. We have Arsenal on 39 points, City on 37 points, and Aston Villa on 36 points. So, the top three, very congested. Very congested. And then we start falling away a little bit. We've got Chelsea on 29, Liverpool on 29, obviously Chelsea with a better goal difference. Sunderland on 27, top six for Sunderland still. They're doing well. Manchester United sort of dropped some positions there, down to 7th with 26 points. Crystal Palace don't go up any further due to their loss. They could have taken over Manchester United. They could have gone up into the 6th position, actually, but they didn't because they lost. They're on 26 points as well. Brighton on 24, Everton on 24, and that is the top 10 of the Premier League. 24, you're 24 plus 3, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're 2 games, you're essentially 2 games off the top 4 position at the moment. If you're, all the way down to 10th, you're 2 wins away from a Champions League spot. So it is pretty tight. It is pretty tight in the top 10. I think the top 3 are sort of starting to run away with it. But, from 4 to 8, and, looking at the sides in and around there, around the 10, 11, 12, there's chances for them to get into the top 8, really. If we continue on at 11, we've got Newcastle United on 23, Brentford on 23, 13th, we've got Fulham on 23. So again, really congested all the way down to 13th, really. And then after that, you've got Tottenham Hotspurs on 22, Bournemouth on 22, Leeds on 19, and sitting on 17th, right outside the relegation zone, is Not Forest. They had a really good result. No, they didn't. They lost to Fulham. Leeds had the good results. But Not Forest, 17th. Kind of looking a bit dicey for them, but I think they'll stay up. They're on 18th. They're on 18 points. 1-8. And then we get into the bottom 3. And this is where it starts to get a bit dicey. Because I've said this week in, week out for the last few weeks. West Ham should have the quality to stay up. But in saying that, they're not getting the results. They're not getting the points. They really needed. I know it was a tough game against City, but they really needed to go there. Get an extra few bodies on there. Even if you have to cheat, get 30 players on and put them all in the bloody goal box, and put them all in front of the goals, and don't let City score and just choke them. That had to have been the game plan. You had to have tried to walk away. And you've now really got to start accumulating points. Otherwise, there's going to be too much of a gap open between you and the next person in front of you. And we are sort of starting to see that happen now. Not Forest, 18 points against West Ham's 13. 5 points, that's a big deficit. We talk about 5 points difference maybe not being that much in regards to teams in the top 10, but that's a different kettle of fish, because you're talking about sides that are winning and sides that are getting 3 points on a consistent basis. But when you talk about 5 points difference between 17th and 18th, it's a much bigger mountain to climb when you're at that point and you're struggling to get even just 1 point from a game. So I don't know. It's starting to get to squeaky bum time. I'm going to reserve it now. I'm going to reserve it for maybe another couple of games before I start getting really nervous about West Ham. But then underneath the West Ham, you've got Burnley on 11 points, and you've got Wolves on 2 points. Look, I'm pretty resigned to the fact that Burnley and Wolves are going to go down this year, and we'll see who's going to take that third spot. But that was the weekend roundup. Look, a couple of interesting results, a couple of results that were probably in the wheelhouse of results that we would have thought to have happened. I would say one of the only results that I really walked away thinking, wow, that was interesting, was probably the Leeds 4-1 against Crystal Palace. Leeds sitting in 16th position, really getting 3 points against a top 10 side is really handy for Leeds. They it now gives them a little bit of a buffer between them and West Ham, and I think that's, other than not Forest, I think West Ham were a bit unlucky in the sense that a lot of the teams above them got some points this weekend and started building a bit of a gap. So listen, if you're a West Ham fan, get your comments in the comments below. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, are you starting to get worried? Any other fans out there? How's your side going? What do you think's going to happen? Is there anything that you think your side needs to do in January? We're now coming up to when we're I want to say a bee's dick away, but I don't know if you can say a bee's dick away in YouTube, but I'm going to say it. We're a bee's dick away from the January transfer period. So, is there any moves that you'd like to see your club make? Maybe as we start getting into January, we'll start talking about some transfer rumours and see what happens there. But this is Roger Roadside saying thank you very much for tuning in. I do have a subscribers challenge going on at the moment. I need 50 subscribers, and we're trying to get there by the 2nd of February, which is my birthday. So please, guys, please, give me the gift that keeps on giving. All you need to do is press a button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out. And that would be really good. If I can get to 50 subscribers by the 2nd of Feb, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop side.